Here's what the research tells us, beautiful. Betrayal trauma activates the same parts of the brain as physical pain. Did you hear that? And you wonder why it physically drains you and pains you. You are quite literally in survival mode. Your body is storing real trauma. Your emotions are on overdrive, and if you don't pause to care for yourself, well, so let me ask you the tough question, beautiful. When was the last time you truly cared for yourself? Not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and on purpose. After betrayal, self-care often becomes an afterthought. You're so consumed with the trauma, the triggers, the questions swirling in your mind. Well, here's the truth. Without intentional self-care, you're setting yourself up to emotionally crash and spiritually burn out. Now, today, I'm not just talking about bubble baths and retail therapy, I'm talking about real soul care. So let's do this. Hey, beautiful. Are you done with the pain, devastation, and overwhelm that marital betrayal has thrown at you? And you need a real roadmap to recovery. And you also desire to heal God's way. Well, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Lisa, a betrayal trauma and infidelity recovery specialist who went from being crushed and humiliated by my own husband's affair to a global sought-after recovery specialist, helping Christian women and couples just like you heal and recover from the devastation of marital betrayal, all while doing it God's way. Are you ready to dive in? I know I am. So, grab your favorite latte, maybe a glass of wine, snuggle up with your favorite blanket on the couch, and let's focus on you right now. Let's do this, beautiful. Welcome back to the Beauty Beyond Betrayal podcast. If you're tired of just trying to pick up the shattered pieces on your own and you're ready for real biblical healing, well, beautiful, you're in the right place. We're going to dive deep today into this episode where we are literally talking about creating your post-betrayal self-care plan. Listen, it's more than just bubble baths and pedicures, okay? Let's get real. So let me ask you a tough question. When was the last time you really cared for you? Like, truly cared for you. I'm not talking just physically, but deep down emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and you were doing it on purpose. You see, after betrayal, self-care often becomes somewhat of an afterthought. You're so consumed with the trauma, and you might even be so consumed with his recovery, the triggers, the questions swirling in your mind, things like, what just happened to me? Can my marriage be saved? Will I ever feel safe again? Will these thoughts ever stop bombarding my mind? And the list, well, it goes on and on and on. But here's the truth. Without intentional self-care, you're actually setting yourself up to emotionally crash and spiritually burn out. And I know you don't want that. You've been through enough already. And you know, I'm not talking about just a mere bubble bath and retail therapy. I'm talking about real soul care. The kind of care that rebuilds your nervous system, restores your dignity, and it reminds your heart that you are actually worth caring for. So why is it that you hear all of these things about self-care after betrayal trauma? Self-care, self-care, self-care. You've probably heard it way too much. But this is what I want to share with you today. The research is in, and this is what it tells us. Betrayal trauma activates the same parts of the brain as physical pain. You are quite literally in what's called survival mode. Your body is storing real trauma. Your emotions are on overdrive. And if you don't pause to take care of yourself, your healing process can stall, or worse. You'll end up in burnout. You'll suffer from major bitterness and even breakdown. In fact, I've seen it way too many times. Women powering through with no margin, no rest, no grace until their bodies finally give out. Their anxiety spikes, sleep totally disappears, and their immune system takes a huge hit. But God didn't design you to just survive betrayal, beautiful. No. He designed you to heal. And healing requires rest. It requires restoration and rhythms of care. That's why inside of my Roadmap to Recovery, that 6-month group coaching program, one of my very first things that I walk you through is how to build a personalized post-betrayal self-care plan. Not just what the world says self-care is, but what biblical trauma-informed soul care actually looks like. And that's what I kind of want to walk you through a little bit of today. So let's look at step 1 of this, okay? I'm going to give you a few steps here. Yes, I want to share this with you because I want you to see kind of what it would be like to come alongside and finally take care of you for the next 6 months. So your first step is to redefine what self-care means. Now, first and foremost, this isn't about pampering, though let's get real. That's not bad either, right? This is actually about deep healing. You see, self-care means creating daily, weekly, and monthly rhythms that address the 4 pillars of your healing. And some of you might go, pillars of my healing? I've never heard of that before. Well, let me give them to you. Emotional, spiritual, physical, and relational. Now, let me just give you an example of this. Emotional would be weekly journaling using guided prompts to release triggers. Yes, you're taught how to do this. Then spiritual is like morning devotionals, worship playlists, soaking in the Psalms, what have you. Then there's the physical pillar. That's gentle movement, walking, stretching, or trauma-informed exercises. They're called somatics. You're taught that inside of this program. And then there's the relational. Surrounding yourself with safe, validating people that are going to speak life into you. They are your safe people, and validating women who are also walking in recovery work, a sisterhood. That's inside of that Roadmap to Recovery. And this is where I help you build out each one of those categories based on your current capacity and your nervous system needs, because your body remembers betrayal. And it can store that trauma deep within your body. And if it's not supported correctly, it can keep you stuck in trauma loops. And I know you probably know what that means. It's like the constant triggers, the ruminating thoughts, the flashbacks in your head, what have you. Those are true trauma loops, and they can be devastating. Here's step number 2. Identify what you actually need right now. So ask yourself a few questions. First one you can say is, what am I depleted in? Take some time to sit in that and really be honest with yourself. Another question is, what helps me feel grounded and what makes me feel safe? Really be honest with yourself. You are worth this, beautiful. Take time here. And here's a third one. Where am I leaking energy, and where do I need safe, healthy, God-honoring boundaries? That can be scary, I know. That's why I take you by the hand and walk you through it inside of that program. Now, this is where you're going to start with your most urgent needs. Maybe you're sleep deprived, or your nervous system is shot from constant anxiety, or you haven't had quiet time with the Lord in days, weeks, or even months for that matter. Pick one need in each category and write down a care practice that would support it. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say that you're dealing with sleep deprivation. So you can write down, I'm going to commit to 9:30 p.m. being phone free, and that's my wind down time an hour before I go to bed. Okay? Or maybe you're spiritually drained. Then you could have that prompt to be, I'm going to start each morning with Psalm 46:10, be still and know that I am God, right? I'm going to sit in that and I'm going to just meditate with the Lord and just talk to Him. Or maybe for you, you're emotionally overloaded, right? That's one of your categories. You're going to write down that you're going to journal for 5 minutes after each trigger instead of stuffing it down, instead of shoving that baby down, ignoring it, hoping it doesn't come up again. No, you're going to face it. You're going to ride the wave, so to speak. I know you might not have heard that before, but that's something I do teach inside of that program. And I teach you to allow those emotions to rise up, ride that wave as it comes up, process through it so that that emotion can be taken through your body in the natural fashion that God designed it to, so that you can actually process and heal from it. All right, now here's step number 3. Schedule it like it really does matter, because beautiful, it does. You wouldn't miss a doctor's appointment, would you? Would you miss your child's school event? I didn't think so. So why treat your healing like it's an option? Right? Some of you really had the light bulb go on. Listen, put your self-care into your actual calendar and protect it. Literally protect it. Color code it. Give it a name. In my Roadmap to Recovery, we call this your healing rhythm reset. It's not selfish, it's strategic. It's how you build a new normal on a foundation of healing instead of hustle. And most of us could use a lot less hustle and a lot more healing. All right, here's step number 4. Expect resistance and do it anyway. Some of you are like, really, Lisa? Yes, really. Let me just say this. You will be tempted to skip it. You really will. The enemy loves to whisper, listen, you don't have time for this. Life's too busy. You're a busy mom. You've got work to go on with. I mean, if you're doing all that stuff, what will people think if they find out, for goodness sakes? But that's because the enemy knows what's at stake. If you don't have your personalized self-care plan, here's what can happen to you. Number 1, you're going to stay stuck in trauma responses. And I know that you're already there and it feels horrible. So let's stop that once and for all. Also, what can happen to you is you'll feel resentment grow because you're giving out of depletion. You can't give from an empty cup, beautiful. Or you'll struggle to hear God's voice because you're drowning in all the trauma noise. And yes, trauma is noisy and it gets loud. And you may begin to believe the lie that you're not worth the time or the effort. But here's the truth, beautiful. That's not your story. No, not for a child of God. And if you need help actually doing this, well, guess what? You don't have to figure it out alone. That is exactly what I walk every woman through inside of Roadmap to Recovery. Together we create your custom self-care plan that actually supports your healing, from trauma-informed guidance to scripture-based rhythms that invite God into every step. You're partnering with Him, and He does meet you there. Registration is now open because we kick this off. The next 6 months in our coaching cohort comes on July 7th. Spots are limited and they are getting grabbed now. And once they fill, they're gone until next year of 2025. 2026. Wow, 2026? Wait, what? I know. That's crazy. But we literally will not have another round until 2026. So you want to get in now. And if you're serious about healing, rebuilding your identity, and stepping into a restored life, now is your time, beautiful. So go below in the show notes, click on the link Roadmap to Recovery. It'll tell you everything you need, and it'll direct you exactly where you can grab your spot. I want to give you a final encouragement today, beautiful. You, my friend, are worth caring for. You're not a burden. You're not broken beyond repair. You are a beautiful daughter of the King, and healing is your inheritance. I hope you heard that. Let your personalized self-care plan be your yes to the healing Jesus already paid for when He died for you. Start today, just one step, and then another, and God will be beside you, and I will be cheering you all along the way. So beautiful, I pray today helped you. I pray that it was tangible, gave you something you actually needed, and that it gave you a glimpse of what it could be like to come alongside in the sisterhood and be coached through your healing journey. So thank you for joining me today on Beauty Beyond Betrayal. And if the episode blessed you, please give us a 5-star review. Write it out. I'd love to share it on the airwaves and give you a shout out. I can't wait to walk with you as you rediscover your worth, rebuild your life, and find beauty beyond the pain of the betrayal. I'll see you next time. And until then, keep holding on to hope. Bye for now, beautiful. Thanks for stopping by and spending a little time with me today. I hope you enjoyed today's show and you found hope, healing, and encouragement. Please remember to subscribe to my podcast and leave a review. You can even screenshot this episode. You can share it out on Facebook and IG stories. This is how we get the message of hope and healing out to all women and couples who are in need of restoration after betrayal. And if you're ready to move out of that devastation and take the next step in your healing journey, well, make sure to reach out. Schedule your coaching session today. Until next time, love God, live your life passionately, and always choose joy in the midst of any circumstance that you may face. Cheers to you, beautiful.